I am sitting here with Gold Steps. Would you guys like to go around and just introduce yourself?
I'm Cam Lamoth. I play guitar in Gold Steps.
My name's Roger. I play the drums in Gold Steps.
I'm Liz Moritz, and I'm the singer of Gold Steps.
I'm Zach Duarte. Play guitar in Gold Steps.
And I'm David, and I play the bass guitar.
Awesome, cool. So, could you give me a background of your band? How'd you form?
Sure. Let's see. Well, David and Zach and I were in a previous band together, and we weren't really stoked with the direction it was going. So, the three of us, kind of disbanded that band and ended up starting Gold Steps together right after. We ended up going with the name Gold Steps because Zach and I were listening to Neck Deep's album Life's Not Out to Get You, and the song Gold Steps came on, and we were like, this is the kind of music we want to be playing. So we were like, well, let's, when we exit this band, let's name our next project Gold Steps. And it took a little bit to get going after the three of us separated and tried to find some new members, but we found... That was back in February of 2016, and then we found Cam and Roger in April, and pretty much never stopped once we got going.
Okay, nice. So, what would you say is your songwriting process? Like, what do you do to gather inspiration? And specifically for you, what's your source for writing lyrics? That's kind of like a broad question.
Yeah.
So we can break it down one by one.
Cool.
Yeah.
So our songwriting process is still a work in progress, actually. When we started out, it was mostly Zach and I working on songs together with an acoustic guitar here in our house. He would come up with a riff, I'd come up with some lyrics and a melody, and then we would go, try to flesh it out from there. Usually it would start with just like a chorus or a verse. And then we would once we had like a skeleton, we called it, we would bring it to the band and start finishing it off from there, adding rhythm guitar, drums, and bass. So that's still how we pretty much work today, but we've been adding in, having Cam come in with our writing sessions, having Cam bring riffs to the table that he's come up with, so it brings a little bit different perspective. And we've also been a little bit more collaborative too. In some cases, we've brought a partial song and actually flesh it out together step by step, it makes for an interesting process because you never really know what somebody might hear in their head, and being able to kind of hash that out in person is a little bit easier than bringing like a full complete song to somebody else. So we definitely all write, for the most part, we write our own parts, which is cool because it allows us each to add our own flavor. We definitely discuss like, hey, I think this would sound good here. Roger probably goes through the most different riffs before we actually finish a song because he'll have like 4 to 5 ideas in his head, and like we'll play out each one and kind of vote on what we feel like sounds the best, which is really cool. As far as lyrics go, I draw my inspiration from personal experiences. Sometimes I'll think in my head, I want to write a song that's a little bit more punchy along the lines of like For Your Strong or Newfound Glory.
It's a word.
Yes. But it all comes from my personal experiences and stuff that I've actually lived through. One thing I want to start expanding on in the future is harnessing other people's memories and experiences and try to put that into my songwriting or spin it from a third-person perspective, so it's not all like me or you, and it becomes like her or him or them.
Well, do you think still writing from that first-person perspective kind of gives somebody more to, what's the word I'm thinking of right now? See, I can't think of the word.
Relate to it?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, if they more relatable, because, if you say me and mine, somebody's more in tune to just take what you have and bring it to themselves. I mean, do you think there'll be a difference in that, or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true because you can kind of, when you do hear the words me and I, you do start to, kind of personalize something, and it makes it a little bit easier to identify with because you can think of the moments back where you truly did feel like that. And that, I know Nominee is like a great example of that. Whenever I listen to Chris's lyrics, it really, it kind of makes you reflect on your own experiences, and it makes you have a stronger connection with that song, which is really cool.
Cool. Any of you guys have anything else to add? Or?
I think if you write from your own perspective where you say I and me, I think people are able to relate, like, from their own personal experiences, they kind of just see themselves in it. But I also think it's pretty cool as, like, older country music from, like, the 50s and 60s most of those songs told a story. They were a narrative from the beginning to the end, and usually they were written about somebody else. That they were, that they sang about somebody else's experiences and everything. And I think it's just a different flavor of the same thing. Making it where you write a song about somebody else's experiences and you're telling their story. Maybe they didn't have the opportunity to tell it, or you're telling your own story in a certain way that people can relate to, or trying to get people to feel what you were feeling at that one point in time.
All right, cool. So speaking of songwriting, just the process, and I mean, there's services like Spotify, iTunes, name it. It's kind of changed the way technology has really changed the format of music, right? You don't have a limited source on what you can fit your music. Like, you don't have a CD, so you don't have to crunch it into, hour and 10 minutes or something. It could be unlimited, or it could be, very small, or a very small amount of time. Has that kind of impacted you on what you guys are doing as opposed to, writing an EP or just writing a full length? Do you kind of go in writing a full album looking at it, or you just kind of turn around like, here's what we have, what we think's the best, and we're gonna
No,
move on from there?
the power of computers is actually really wonderful. We actually have already, by the time we're reaching the studio, we've pre-pro'd everything. So we've worked with someone else, an outside party, being like, all right, well, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And it's just as easy as plugging into his computer and running an amp model through Pro Tools. The fact that technology has changed so much has made it a lot easier for us, because we all communicate through Facebook, we have Google Drive, we have various ways of giving each other information. Then we also have ways of recording, like Zach is like, oh, I just came up with this riff, and he just sent me a quick phone recording, and I get the general idea of it, and I can kind of start to think about it. And just the fact with smartphones and computers being as advanced as they are, we can demo something here, we can just do something real rough with my very limited Logic experience, and then bring it to this outside party. And
there's a big limit on reach now with Facebook, the whole paying for marketing and stuff like that. But I feel like on our own personal pages, it really helps for us, like as individual people, to actually share what the band is doing. That helps reach. But as far as like getting our music heard, Spotify is probably our best outlet right now.
Yeah.
And actually, I think as far as like the distribution of music, I think it takes a lot of those restraints off of people. So we released a 4-song EP in November, and we had this 5th song. It was actually, Toughen Up was actually the first song that we wrote as a band. The first song that we took and said, this is a Gold Steps song. And it was something that we wanted something to kind of bridge the gap between when we were recording our next release. And one of the cool things that I've noticed with artists recently is that there's less of a focus on putting out a full-length album and more about, can you produce a single in between, or like, right now, we all know Paramore's has an album that's going to come out soon, but they've been dropping singles, and they've dropped them within a week of each other, and it doesn't diminish your value anymore, because people are so hungry for what's next that it doesn't hurt the fact that they released a song a week ago, they released a new song in a video, and it's still getting an amazing reach, which is really cool.
I remember Bring Me the Horizon did that as well with Drown. They released that, and it took almost a year before the album that actually was on came out.
I think it's really, it allows you to be a little bit more creative, and you don't have to be beholden to, you have a release date and all songs are going to come out at once, and you maybe get one single that comes out a month beforehand or 2 months to kind of pump it up. Now you can kind of do it whatever way you want, especially if you're not on a label. We could record a song, we could go up to the studio this weekend, we could put out a song whenever we feel like it, and it really, the constraints are starting to be more relaxed, and I think artists are responding to that, especially when you see all these crazy double albums that people are doing. They're just going in and recording 40 songs because it doesn't matter anymore. You can put it as much or as little as you want out at a time.
On that same note, I guess the other side of the coin, with the ease of technology for everyone to have it, does it make it more difficult because the market is so oversaturated? Is it harder to put yourselves out there because back in the day, you're one of hundreds, but you're in a small town. You could easily market yourself, but now with this, it's the you have the whole entire world in front of you, but so does everybody else. Has that same ease.
I think I agree with that, especially on social media. It's easy to get very lost in all the noise. It's something I've definitely seen. I've had to I know that personally we've all pushed a lot harder to help gain visibility, but once you kind of start to get some traction and build, you will have people start recognizing your name, or, oh yeah, I heard that one song or something. You just have to work a little bit harder for it, and you have to make sure that your product is quality and stands above, because there might be 1,000 bands in Austin, but maybe only 20 of them are really worth listening to, and people will find those 20.
Yeah.
It's just part of getting to those people to get them to, to actually make a call on your product. A lot of us are so supportive of each other that we all end up going to the same shows a lot of the time, or playing a lot of the same shows. So it's kind of a breath of fresh air when you play to a completely different crowd and they respond back, and then you're like, okay, now I know we've got something. People aren't just showing up because it's mom, dad, and our roommates because they feel like they have to. People will start coming back because they think what you have is something special and worth seeing.
No, I agree. Actually, I saw you guys open up for the Ataris.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, was it July?
September.
September?
last
No,
year.
September last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, September. Yeah,
Was
yeah.
that
That's where I first.
Highlight?
We've flown by.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Sidewinder. That was awesome.
That was one of my favorite shows. But on that same note, I mean, what we've really found is we kind of did a little bit of a test on diversifying our media. When we recorded Toughen Up, we kind of decided, like, okay, why don't we do a music video at the same time? We dropped the single at the same time as the music video. And for me, I mean, I bet if you went around and asked, how do you discover music, you're not going to get the same answer
Yeah,
a whole
absolutely.
lot. I mean, a big thing for me is Spotify, but
Yep.
I actually discovered a lot of my new music on YouTube, and I was like, we need to have video content, like good video, not just me and my Chroming GoPro, whatever. But like, we need to have good video content and, make sure we're advertising on each of those mediums, our other sources of media. So,
And lately, what I've been doing as a way to kind of recycle the same content in a new way is after going through the trials and errors of posting YouTube content on Facebook and realizing how much it affected our reach, is now I'm going back and like, okay, we've got all these videos on YouTube, but now that Facebook has its own platform for uploading videos, and it automatically plays the video.
Yeah.
Which is the coolest thing, because you're scrolling through your newsfeed. If you see a link and you like, it's kind of funny because it's not much more work to click on a link and it takes you to the video, but you have to wait for the app to open, and by 3 seconds later they've lost interest. If the video starts right away as you're scrolling through, or it's in a comment or something,
What's this?
you're like,
Yeah.
oh wait, something about it caught my eye, and now I'm gonna watch at least part of it, and I might even remember their name. I might remember what they look like.
Oh, dogs?
I might remember that song.
yeah,
Cats.
yep.
Kitties.
So we definitely
Beer pong?
have kind of determined that Facebook is starting to become kind of that all-encompassing thing, kind of like MySpace used to be. I just wish there was a little bit more customization on Facebook. And I know they're trying to revive.
So
Well,
you
at least
can
now you don't
Where's
have to
my
wait.
aim away message?
Yeah, where's
Yeah.
where's my
Exactly.
song you can
Scrolling
play?
sparkly
Where you
text across the
on-
top.
when you come across my profile, where's that automatic song that will play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you have automatic
My
video.
profile
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, my profile
Yeah.
With
song.
my top 8.
You just have
Someday.
to make sure in that sense, that, like you were saying, it's oversaturated. The whole market, everything is just all instant. It's everybody is putting out as much as they can, as fast as they can. So I could scroll through my Facebook feed and hit 50 videos in 2 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that when you're in a very oversaturated market, that everything that you put out has to be perfect. It has to be on point. You have to make sure that you're releasing something that you want everybody in the world to see, rather than releasing something that you kind of just did halfway and you're only moderately happy with.
Would you say it has to be gold?
At least gold. Maybe platinum. We'll see.
Awesome.
I like
Cool.
that. Zing.
So cool. All right. So kind of a different direction. Who's your all's favorite band to see live?
Ooh, to see live.
Yeah.
See, that's different
Ooh.
than
Yeah.
than what is to listen to.
Man, all right. I mean, we'll just do round robin, I guess.
Yeah, we'll just start with you and go in a circle.
For me, I really like seeing Nominee live as a local band. They were really cool. In terms of a non-local band, You Blew It is really good live, and so is Sorority Noise. I'm kind of in that kind of region, but there's been a couple of bands that have been on consistent tours that I've tried to catch their recent shows because I feel like I missed out on so much like now. So I would say You Blew It, Sorority Noise, and then Locals nominee.
Nice.
If we're gonna do one local and one national act, I don't know what it is about the band, but the local band for me is Later Days.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love seeing them live. There's just something about them that always catches my attention. Like I said, I can't put my finger on what it is, but it's just something there. And then as far as like national acts or famous acts go, I just can't turn down going to the show. I have a blast every time I go. Is Rancid.
Nice.
Every time I see them, it's always an absolutely amazing experience, and it's never the same thing twice. But it's always just an absolute dance party that's full of energy the whole entire time.
Nice.
For me, locally, I always love Nominee because there's just so much feeling behind them. But honestly, the band that blew me away was Boys Club. We played for their EP release, and I'd heard they sent me their Bandcamp before they played, and I was like, dang, these guys are good. But when I saw their stage banter, that was what got me, because they were funny. They were fun to like look at how they interacted with each other. There was never any awkwardness. It was like they were just made to play together, and that was so cool for me to see. Is like, wow, oh yeah, we can talk to each other. I forgot you guys existed. I'm just in my microphone. You're over there. But like the way they talked to each other was so like, it was like watching an SNL skit, but without the teleprompter. It was just so cool. And then live, I have to hands down throw it like spectacle wise. Fall Out Boy does a great job, but New Found Glory, after seeing them 3 days straight, those dudes put on like a party. They have so much energy. The crowd is always wild. Like. And they're just excellent live. Like they're just solid. Mm-hmm. And to be that solid for years on end, I've never seen them have a bad show. Not once. So their energy is just like completely unmatched especially for how long they've been doing this.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say my own opinions because she and I share the same one, so I'm like right there with her.
Yeah.
I say New Found Glory all day.
Honestly, that was the first time I'd ever seen New Found Glory, and it blew my mind how much energy they had, and the fact that Jordan was right there watching Trash Boat, like rocking along right at the side stage, and he was out there while I was in line, like just talking to people, and like that's so admirable. And I know you guys went to
we
3
saw
shows,
the drummer,
like,
we saw the bassist,
all
like
that?
they were
Like,
all hanging out outside, like either before or after the show.
Nice.
It really was cool to meet like people that were like your heroes,
Mm-hmm. Not
but
hiding behind gas masks like some
Yeah.
bands.
it was well, I'll also throw in For Your Strong. They do put on an amazing show. The fact that both of those two can play guitar and sing at the same time blows me away. They're a huge inspiration for me.
And for me, locals, I must say Burning Years, their energy
Oh,
is huge, so I really like them. And for national acts, probably Minus the Bear and Tries. Those are really good bands, and to see them live, they're really good.
What would you guys say your favorite song is to play?
Ooh.
I think we
Well,
all have different opinions on that, but
In the like right now we're all writing, so we have 4 new songs, and I don't know. I'm really starting to dig them all, but for me, it probably would be As Luck Would Have It. Just it's a fun song, and it's not released yet, so
yeah.
that'll be.
We have an acoustic version on our Warped Tour channel, but we don't have, and we have a pre-prod version in our personal Dropbox. But that one is definitely, the first time we played it live, there was definitely a response to it that we weren't, or at least we were hoping for, but didn't quite expect. But as far as like which one's the most, for me, my favorite is Dead Weight. There's so much feeling and passion behind that song, and it's so personal to me. That's my favorite one, at least to sing at this time, just because there's so much like I can do with it, like vocally.
yeah, Dead Weight for me certainly gets me moving. But I mean, they're all. I honestly can say that I don't really have a least favorite song, which is like kind of hard to. I mean,
Well, everyone has a favorite child.
But like, you know,
You love them all the same.
I love them all the same, but you know, I don't tell that child I don't like them.
But everyone in the room can tell.
But everybody knows. But yeah, honestly, I think as a band, Deadweight, and then this new stuff that we've really been working on, you know, it came to that point where it was just like, yeah, these songs are cool, but like, let's just see what else we can do. And now it's kind of making us re-explore those old songs a little bit. So, especially for, you know, upcoming ventures.
Yeah.
What about
Stuff
you,
like that.
Roger?
My favorite's Toughen Up.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's fun for you on drums.
It does a little bit of everything as far as like all the stuff that we do musically on the drums at least. It does a little. It does the 4-beat. It does the breakdown
chops.
beat. It does upbeat. It does a 2-step. It does all of it. And so I mean that's my favorite that we do. But that's just personal.
Deadweight too.
Deadweight?
They're all fun. We just like to play. But wait till you guys hear the new stuff.
So by the time this is released, you will be going on a tour.
We will.
You guys want to plug the dates? And
Yes. We are going on tour from May 27th to June 5th. We're going out of state for the first time on this tour. So whatever Texas has been hiding, they'll get to see it out in full force. So most of the dates are still in Texas because even though Texas is one state, it takes up a very large area of the U.S. So we've got 6 dates here. And then, oh wait, no, is it 7 here? It's 7 here. And then we've got Albuquerque, Phoenix, and Vegas. We're very stoked for Vegas. There's quite a lot of excitement buzzing around those days.
Hence the name,
It was
the
sick,
Search
yeah.
for Gold tour was
Yeah.
the Vegas inspiration.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
nice.
we're gonna,
Plus, there's a desert. You know,
yeah.
Yeah.
there's buried treasure somewhere
Yeah.
out there.
Hopefully, you know, one of us will hit a jackpot.
That
Every
would be
time.
We'll come home with like
well,
4 cars.
Actually, we are hitting
Yeah.
the jackpot because we are playing the Jackpot Bar and Grill.
That's why I said that.
See?
Saving my money.
But yeah, it's called In Search of Gold. So it's our very first tour, and we're very excited about it. Definitely excited to meet some out-of-state people. I've been connecting with people a lot online and kind of trying to figure out, like, you know, what is the scene like out in these different places. So I'm expecting that at least we'll get a few people who have heard of us to actually show up, which is really cool.
Nice. And what are the dates again?
May 27th through June 5th.
Nice. Cool. So on that same note, for the future, you guys already kind of talk about new music. So what do you think future plans are for an album?
Well, we are currently writing. We're about halfway done writing the new record. We're planning to do a 7 to 8 song, like an extended EP. And then I am pushing for an acoustic B-side because I think that would be so awesome and just
Pushing for it.
fun.
This is the first time you mentioned it. I love that idea. Come
No,
on.
I mentioned it before. It was more like a musing quietly in the corner, like.
No,
But
I'm so down for that.
We're pushing to do that, especially because our acoustic covers that we've done and other acoustic videos have resonated with people. So I think people like to hear some of that raw.
A little bit more honesty in
mhm.
acoustic.
Yeah. So that's our plan. We're hoping to get into the studio by the end of summer, hopefully by the end of August, and then plans for late 2017. Maybe if we have to push it in January of next year. But there will be new music soon.
You want a New Year's release, but
We want a New Year's
We'll
release.
see.
We'll see how that
See how
works
that
out.
works out.
You never know what could happen.
Cool. So it's done with all my good questions. And you said I could ask you guys anything.
Oh yeah,
So-
ask us anything. We're seriously like
So, who do
nothing.
you think Ray's parents are in Star Wars?
Oh, you are asking
the
the
dad.
wrong
They're all
Yeah, all right,
the
you're
same.
asking the wrong person,
Right,
and I
anybody, yeah.
love that you
She
asked
can-
that.
I love
because
that you did. Too.
Liz hates Star Wars,
You
and
hate
I
Star
love
Wars?
Star Wars.
This is over.
I know.
I'm sorry,
I know.
it's
But
okay.
hey, let me redeem
I
it.
quit.
Let me redeem
I
it.
grew up
quit.
in a household where it was like, I love you, Dad, but it was seriously like, it was like held up as this like beacon, and like, you know, as a teenager you get kind of rebellious and you're like, well, you like this, I don't like that. But I really was never like, space scares me. I'm so terrified of
No one can hear you
aliens
scream.
and
Man.
Even fake
spaceships and-
space.
So yeah, even fake space scares me. I did see the first I saw episode 1 and 2. I kind of saw, but I
Why
really
don't
have
you watch
not.
the worst one?
Yeah, the first.
So,
Yeah, those are the
yeah,
worst
no,
ones.
yeah,
Came
no.
out when I was in high school.
No,
you
no,
know?
no, no.
So like I grew up with having it like shoved down my throat, and like I had a sister who like seriously wanted to be a Jedi when she grew up.
Mhm.
So I was just like, well, my sister and I fought, growing up. So I was like, well, I want to be the exact opposite of what she wants to do. So that's But I was really more like fantasy. Like I do like Lord of the Rings, but no, Star Wars is not my jam.
I'll
So I don't even
I'll
know,
say it.
I don't even
I
know
think
who
it was
Rey
Revive
is. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry.
I think her father was Emperor Palpatine.
You think so? That evil? I think it's Luke.
Yeah.
Isn't that
I mean, I don't know,
Kaminoa's
but
dad or?
I know it was the senator that ended up becoming
Everyone's
the.
gonna like throw out their gold steps merch.
Yeah, everybody just
Liz would be like, it's Jar Jar Banks. Come on.
our
That's your
followers.
favorite. Yeah. Jar Jar. We can
No,
cut that.
I like C-3PO because he's kind of a clumsy dork like I am.
I think it's Luke, honestly.
Really?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know who the mom is, but. Or maybe,
Maybe it's an
Ray
Ewok. I know
and
what those
Kylo Ren are brother and
Like you
sister.
snap at me like I'm
I'm not
an
snapping at
ant.
you.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
snapping to remember. I don't know. But
I snapped
it's
to
really
remember.
funny because
But you think
My
my
dad-
dad would have recognized her if that would have happened?
maybe he wasn't choosing to recognize her. That whole maybe
So
it
lost.
was the same situation. They're
Yeah.
twins at birth, and then they end up kissing, and then turns out they're sisters or brother and sister. But for me, it's really funny. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. My parents were Trekkies and like loved all of this. Saw Star Wars on release date, and it's just like every time I was homesick, if I was like sick, they were like, "All right, you need to watch episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6." Yeah. And it was just like not a choice. And then by the end of it, I was like, I love this. Like, this is so great. Like,
Yeah.
what cultural experience? I don't know.
Yep, absolutely.
Nice.
Like
Sorry.
Harry Potter,
But they were the
guys.
non-discriminatory Trekkies. But I've also seen like all of the Star Trek movies.
I
And
love Star
all
Trek.
of the series, and
I like
I
Star,
like Star
Trek.
Trek just as much as I like Star Wars. The same.
I'm on that train. I don't discriminate in that way. So
Guardians of the Galaxy counts, right? I mean,
No, but
I'll stare at Chris Pratt all day.
I appreciate that.
But you can't start Harrison Ford?
He seems so mean. I don't know. I feel like he would just scold me about everything. And I don't know. I'm not about that.
That's awesome. So yeah, all right. Well, no more Star Wars questions.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's cool. What are your guys' guiltiest pleasures you're listening to right now? That you shouldn't admit to anybody.
Music-wise?
Yeah, music wise.
Perry.
Katy Perry. Nice.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift.
Nice.
Oh. She's not a guilty pleasure. Who does? Okay, if you don't like Taylor Swift,
I know.
like, I'm
I
sorry
feel like
for you.
Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Well,
It's not guilty.
let me
No.
throw something else in there then.
Okay.
I would probably say either Chiodos or The Devil Wears Prada.
Wow.
What are
Oh,
those guilty pleasures?
I didn't know he liked Devil Wears
can't-
Prada.
Good-
That's
you can't have good
interesting.
bands
I don't want to
with
say
guilty
this, but I
pleasures.
gotta.
Guilty pleasures
Ah,
is
no,
like,
yeah.
I secretly listen to the Wiggles on the weekend. That's your guilty
At least that's
pleasure.
educational.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I look up weird stuff from my childhood. Like my dad was a big Weird Al fan, so like
that's not guilty.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
sometimes I used to write my own parodies and think I was really cool, but it wasn't.
All right, we're not doing an acoustic B-side anymore.
Why not?
We're doing a Weird Al
We're gonna
tribute.
do
Yeah.
that. I really wanted to sing Albuquerque when we go there, but I don't. I think it'd
She
be
wants
lost.
to play it when we're driving through Albuquerque on tour.
Albuquerque.
She wants, and I was like, just looking at her like, really?
I actually secretly really like Christmas music. That's
Okay.
there
Just
you
like
go.
in July.
In
or
July.
something.
But like, and I have like, even though Canon in D is like a wedding song, but like I actually like a lot of different versions of Canon in D. So I have a whole playlist that's just Canon in D. To be fair, getting married kind of skews you up, but that's why I like Christmas music too.
What about you, David?
Oh, you already said
Katy Perry.
Katy Perry.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Like a teenage
forgot about
dream.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Oh my gosh, you Roger.
Is your daughter though?
I have a few, but I know on the way here I jammed the whole greatest hits of Power Man 5000.
Oh,
Dude,
nice.
nice.
I think you might have
That was my second album.
Yeah.
Oh,
I opened
wow.
up for them at a car show.
A car show?
A car show like 5 to 6 years ago or something like that. Maybe longer than that. They were just playing at a car show here downtown.
Nice.
It was really cool. They were really nice. Very
Okay.
strange. Very strange.
I think you should tell everybody how much you like Attila, because that should be a guilty pleasure.
That's not a guilty pleasure.
No.
Yeah,
They're
Attila's pretty
super,
good.
They're super technical. That's like the only thing that like
But everyone
about
thinks
Attila
they're just
that
like a
was-
party band.
Well, that's the point. It gets me pumped. Like I listen to that before every show that we play. I jam it on the way there. It just
Well, thank
Do
you,
people
Attila.
still listen to
Yeah,
Hollywood Undead anymore? At least that one song.
Their latest album
gets
is
him
like
going.
it's just nothing but
It's
like
good.
a techno album. Like the other stuff was like deathcore, but now it's just like it's all techno.
True.
Yeah. For me, it's dubstep. I love like really grindy or just like EDM. You
Make
know.
noises with your mouth. Show me what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Borgore and like Dead Mouse, Getter. What else?
Well, you used to be
Netsky. Yeah, I used to do a lot of DJing.
I was a Dead Mouse fan. For a
Dead
little
Mouse
while.
5 fan. But I mean, also, I mean,
can't pronounce.
yeah, on that same vein of Taylor Swift not being a guilty pleasure, Taylor Swift is one of those things that I question me listening to, but I'll just pull up to a stoplight, like bumping, like, you know,
Shake it off.
Shake it off, or no, what's what's that song that I Prevail covered? Because I like the original better than that.
Is it the Romeo and Juliet?
No, it's like new money, suit and tie. I could read you like a magazine. That song. I can't remember what that's called, but that's my Taylor Swift jam.
Look at that thing.
Yeah.
What's the chorus?
Blank space.
Yes.
Blank space.
So it's
Yes,
gonna be
that's the one.
forever.
It's
What
gonna
can
go
go
down in
down in
flames. And I'll just like pull up and I'll just be singing and dancing, and people are looking like, "What are you? You're bumping Taylor Swift right now." I'm like,
Oh, and you got subs in
yeah,
the
I got
side.
I'm just like slamming it. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
good stuff.
I don't have to go, do I?
What?
I don't have to go.
No, you can say.
Okay.
Wait, you don't like Taylor Swift?
Oh,
Get
I
out.
love
No,
Taylor
I'm just
Swift.
kidding.
Yeah, after the Ryan Adams 1989, like
Oh.
her album came out, I never listened to Taylor Swift until then, and then
Oh yeah, that
like,
was
I'm
good.
a big Ryan Adams
I
fanboy, so
love
it came
Ryan
out. So I was like,
Adams.
so I automatically compared it because
Oh,
you have to
no, you
compare.
can't. No,
you have
you
to compare
can't.
it,
No,
and then I was
no.
like, this is actually really great.
That was what it was for me too.
Yeah.
Like I didn't listen to Taylor Swift until like the last couple albums that she released, like all the country stuff, like the new contemporary country. I didn't give any of that a chance. But then once like she started making fun of herself
Yeah,
in her music, I was like, oh, she actually has a sense of humor. Okay, I can get down with that. And then
She
just
is every
started listening to it.
person. She's my dream.
yeah.
But no, seriously, like her
Wet or
lyrics
dry?
are amazing.
I
Like,
mean,
Yeah.
the way she writes is like it's so honest.
I mean,
but
as
it's also
I was gonna say,
creative.
as long as I get a song written about me, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, I've done that. I'm gonna be the next T Swift of pop punk, but I'm not gonna be able to, date any of them. I'll just meet people and then write a song about
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
And I'll have no idea who they are, but I'll
You
just
could
make it up.
just live vicariously through me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
You know what's
Cam,
cool, like,
go date a bunch of girls. Tell me how horrible.
Kind of
they are.
off topic. I had a couple songs written about me in middle school.
Ooh, same.
Definitely was pissed off about it back then. All my friends confronted the people that did it, and we're gonna kick their ass. So they took it down, stopped playing it, but never lived it down.
I just feel like you gotta.
Were they good or?
Hate song.
no,
about
it
it.
was very awful.
Oh, well.
I used to be in a band with this guy, and he wrote a song about all his ex-girlfriends, and the song he wrote about me, I never heard it, but it was called Paraless.
Oh,
Get it?
wow.
Because I used to sing in a band that he was in, and then they kicked me out because they were like, yeah, we want to go more like a thrice direction. And when they started the band, it was like, we want to be like Fall Out Boy and Paramore. And then they were like, hey, so we want to be like thrice. And I was like, I don't think I can do that with my voice. And they were like, yeah, we know. You should stick to acoustic stuff.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Oh, okay.
that was your
Well
exit
then.
interview.
So a lot of this fuel that Gold Steps is on is just based off of all that kind of stuff. I've been kicked out of every band I've been in, so this is actually
Ooh, this is
really
a bad
nice.
time to tell you.
Imagine.
That was terrible.
Get out of my head.
You are the weakest link. I am old. Apparently.
Yeah.
No, I know. I got that. I get it.
Do you remember when Regis Philbin used to actually host Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
I remember when I used to be with Kelly Ripa.
Oh my God,
I remember when it was an hour
Yeah.
long.
Oh.
Yeah.
Before it
Oh,
became
yeah.
30
I
minutes.
watched that episode when he won. Like, I watched it live when that dude won the first $1 million, and I was like, "What? This is history right here."
Yeah.
So crazy.
Oh my God, it's amazing. This show's been going forever.
Yeah, but that.
Which you can't technically be a millionaire unless you have over $2 million.
Well, taxes. Yeah. I
Taxes.
mean, I think
Yeah.
you walked away with like
You can still tell everybody you won $1
$560,000.
million.
Yeah, exactly. Who wants to be a millionaire? I do, but I'm still not.
Yeah, exactly.
You're more like a 400,000 there.
I take that though. I
Yeah, I'll
take that.
Somehow we got on this.
Yeah. So, anyways, cool. I guess that's all I have. Last question was like any future plans, but you guys kind of already plugged all that. So
Yeah.
tour.
Check.
Work on an album, and then
Check.
we're also doing a little weekend run.
July.
We're going to be playing in July. We're going to be starting in Austin,
Plano.
starting in I'm sorry, not in Austin, in
Plano.
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 We're going to start in Plano, and then Plano, and then Lafayette, Louisiana, and then we're going to come back and go to Houston.
Oh,
We're going
nice.
to be doing a little thing with band.
5-year plan.
Yeah, 5-year plan from
Yeah, it's our little
Louisiana.
Weekend warrior
The
tour.
Texas Triangle.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yes. We never touch anywhere.
The Bermuda
The
Triangle.
Bermuda
Yeah, right.
Triangle. We're gonna
Maybe-
get
Or
lost
you
somewhere
go
in the-
Lafayette. It's
Yeah.
gonna be-
Once
We're
we
gonna-
cross over the border.
There's no hurricanes.
Yeah, hopefully there's no
Is that hurricane
hurricanes.
season?
July.
Because then I can
No,
picture
it's
my dream
till
of leaning out
September.
a window and
It's the
going,
end of the summer.
hurricane a coming.
September, October.
No, we need to do
August.
like all of that
August,
fun
September.
like mud stuff that
Katrina was the
Louisiana
fifth
has.
one.
Oh, we're going mudding in Louisiana?
Yeah, like or just like have you
Ugh.
ever seen that where like they
Yeah.
attach you to a backhoe with a knee board and like you get dragged along?
Oh,
like,
you're talking
spin
about that
around?
kind of mudding.
Yeah,
Oh,
or
okay.
just something
guys
with
Oh, I
Yeah.
used to do that in Kentucky.
You
Really?
haven't
Oh,
lived
okay.
until you've gotten on a sled behind a 4-wheeler through the snow.
Yeah, I did that in Kentucky too.
from
Yeah.
Massachusetts, man. I know
Oh, yeah,
that.
You know, a family dog.
Sled? What do you mean a car? Going like 30 in a little plastic
You're
set?
not
Like-
just
Yeah, but on a
out in the
4-wheeler,
country.
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
Yeah, cool. Well, anything else you guys want to mention or plug or?
Follow us on social media at
Yeah,
GoldStepsATX.
We are literally on Facebook every single day, and if people comment on our stuff, I try to get back to every person. And that's honestly how we've met some really cool people. I talked to a guy from the UK yesterday for like back and forth for a few messages just because I posted in their group because a radio, like a little online radio thing called Hello Radio played our music.
Oh, nice.
And also, the singer of Trash Boat recognized our name, and I almost died because I thought that was so cool. Because I'm in on like
heard
a
of
ton of social media groups, and I just like honestly like I just loved connecting with people on there because sometimes you get so caught up in what you're doing in your own little circle of people that you forget that there's a lot going on outside. So it's really cool for me. Like I'm seeing some of these bands that I saw in these like groups start to like really like grow into themselves and like get taken on like big tours or like get signed, and it's like it's really cool. For the most part, people are really supportive. You get the occasional person who just wants to be, you know, a troll, but honestly, I've met some really cool people in other bands too, and we swap advice or you know just talk to each other. It's really cool.
Met a lot of trolls.
I like
Just
the
a couple
random
people.
people. I like the random people. That's the one thing. Like I always thought I would have hated being like recognized, like because I'm not like a outgoing people person. I'm more of an introvert when it comes to like social settings, social situations. But like I've been in a Walmart and a guy walks up to me like, "Hey, you play drums in Gold Steps, right?" And be like,
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
That's creepy.
That hasn't happened to me.
And be
Dang.
like, I was like, "Yeah."
That's creepy but cool.
Yeah, that's
super
awesome.
cool.
And my girlfriend was like, "Does that mean you're famous?" I was like, "I don't think so." I was like,
No,
"It's
it's
just."
Walmart. God.
My mom thinks I'm famous, so
Maybe
you
if
know.
it was HEB, that'd be more. Walmart, dude, really?
It was the weird. It was a
I
very weird but very cool sensation. Like I stopped and talked to the guy for about 10 minutes. Apparently, he had like seen us like the day or two before.
Oh,
Well,
okay, so you
you know,
remembered you.
it
That's
happened.
cool.
It happened twice on Saturday. There was actually somebody who had seen us play a
Yeah.
Fall Out Boy cover set in
In
Houston.
Houston, and I
Right,
got up on
wow.
stage. I stage dived, and then I got up there and sang for like the
On
best
Head
5
On
seconds of my
Collision.
life. And then I got back down, and then later he found us. He was like, "I saw you get up on stage. I knew you guys. I saw you in Houston." And then we asked him which show it was, and he said it was the covers show. And then we told him we were coming back for the tour in Houston, and we actually like hung out with him for a little bit afterwards. But it's cool to like have someone be like, "I know who you are,"
Yeah.
Very
but like
cool.
know you for something good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Instead of like, oh, you're that.
I heard
Whoa.
about you.
I saw you on YouTube. You were doing something.
I say trashing everybody's post in that Defend Pop Punk group.
Yeah.
I hope we see that guy.
Okay. Oh, that
No,
guy.
any
Oh,
trolls in
no.
there?
I probably honestly like don't know what they look like. Like I mean
Yeah, nobody cares enough.
there's too many tears in my eyes. I'm so sensitive. No, but honestly,
No.
it's just find us on social media. We're all over Facebook all the time. We're on Twitter and Instagram and
Spotify, and
Spotify.
YouTube.
We have a Snapchat that we use sporadically.
When we go.
Oh,
on
follow us on
Snapchat.
Snapchat for our tour because we
Yes.
will
We'll
be
be
all over
all
that.
over
man,
that.
Jim.
You're going to be so bored in that van.
Gold Steps ATX.
Yeah,
And
let's-
also, if you have recommendations of movies we should watch.
We got a DVD
Wow.
player.
Or music we should
And
listen to.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
I guess. Now I'm going to be forced to
The
watch
right
it.
Star
Can we watch
Wars.
the Lego Star
Forced
Wars?
to watch. Forced to watch.
Yeah.
We got that.
I forced her.
I want to watch the Lego Star Wars.
You will watch.
Ah.
Ah.